Welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast, hosted by coaches Bill and Essen. With so many fitness fads and trends, compounded with hundreds of mixed reviews, it is nice to know that this madness can be simplified into meaningful content, whether you want to believe it or not. There are millions of Americans that are literally eating themselves to death, a learned behavior that has been passed down from generation to generation. Let's connect with the team that has the knowledge and experience to change this.
Welcome, everyone. This is Coach Bill with Coach Esten, and today's segment is regarding eating for blood type. This is a part 2 series, and the first one was eating for body type. And blood type, the diet for blood type argues that the carbohydrate-binding proteins, in other words, lectins, found in foods, thank you, and food interacts with people differently depending on their blood type. So I thought the body type Esten discussion was really interesting. So this seems like a more stringent diet. I hate using the word diet anyways. I'll say eating plan or meal plan. Yeah. So I think this is also going to have a lot of interest because people are not aware that you can eat according to probably their body type, but not their blood type. So I'll let you go ahead and start with this. Explain how this works.
All right. Well, we all know that food is energy and food is made of chemicals, and those chemicals react differently in different body types based on genetics. So that's what the whole premise is that food you eat react chemically with your blood type. And if you follow a design for your specific blood type, in theory, your body will digest food more effectively and efficiently. Thereby, if you have any body weight, because of bloat due to gut inflammation, you will lose that weight. You will have more energy and ultimately help prevent disease because lectins are sometimes linked to autoimmune diseases. So
how's that? High level, how's that? Oh, because of chemicals, okay.
You bring those chemicals into your body. The body sees it as an invading, with what it's called an antigen or foreign protein, and then they attack that protein, causing inflammation. And over time, it wears down the body, and eventually certain key markers are always seen as invading enemies, so therefore that starts a cascade effect or domino effect into an autoimmune response to certain foods. So minor food allergies then become a major disease for the body, in theory.
Gotcha.
So that's why I want to do, we both are going to do an informed comparison so that the listeners can determine which or a combination works best for them as far as body type and blood type, or one or the other.
Right.
So what I thought we could do is first talk about what are the different blood types. Blood type is the same as your genetic type. So it was developed by a man named Peter D'Adamo, who was a naturopathic physician who theorized that people respond to various foods, again, depending on their blood type. So the plan was introduced in 1996 in a book called Eat Right for Your Type, and the 4 is the number 4. The meal plan is eating sometimes used as an alternative medicine to promote weight loss and fight disease. Again, most of that weight loss was bloat due to inflammation.
Wow.
And for those of you that don't understand about alternative medicine, its aim is to recognize an individual's biochemistry and its uniqueness, and then tailor treat accordingly. In other words, foods are medicine. So the plan is based on the theory that blood type will determine the foods that a person should consume in order, of course, to achieve optimum health. So
and I want to stop you real quick.
Yeah.
I want to stop you real quick. Maybe I'm jumping ahead. Where can someone go? I think maybe I am jumping ahead, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Where could someone go to get tested, I guess? Is this similar to avoiding foods that you're allergic to? Okay.
Right. So I was going to say, if you're going to start with a Western medicine track, go to an allergist. Find out what your food allergies are. Then you could start researching in naturopathic or allopathic or homeopathic professionals and or readings, and then compare the two. I always believe it's a nice marriage between Western and Eastern medicine. That's my personal opinion. Having a degree in exercise science and working in as a massage therapist, I worked with naturopaths, allopaths, I even teach at a acupuncture college in Fort Lauderdale, so I see the power of herbology and acupuncture. So in my 30-year career, I've kind of put this all together, and I see there's a nice balance when you combine both.
Yep, I agree.
That's no different than in the foods we eat. So I would say, again, go to a Western medicine allergist, see what allergies come up, and then maybe go to an acupuncturist or an herbologist, get their input, or depending on where you live, you might have a naturopathic doctor, and then put the two together. Do a comparison and see if there's an overlap. If there's an overlap, okay, duh. And I also do that with your body typing. You can do that with body typing. Naturopaths, allopaths can help you with that too. Dietitians can even help you with that. And so you can just, when you start to see things overlapping, first time, maybe not so much. Second time, coincidence. Third time, hello, 3 times a charm. So if you're seeing things pop up in all 3 ways, then maybe you should follow that. Or, I always say, here's the poor man's way of doing it. I keep a journal, write down how you feel before you eat, write down how you feel while you're eating, but more importantly, how do you feel afterwards? Do you feel energized or do you feel lethargic? Do you feel like you're full and satisfied, or do you feel bloated and gassy? So if it's a negative response to the food, jot down what food you were eating, and if you see it happening 2 or 3 times in a row, stop eating that food. I've mentioned before, broccoli is very healthy food, but not always healthy for everybody.
Right. Good point.
Especially with people who have, lactose intolerant and gluten issues, we're beginning to see this being more and more revealed, that there are certain foods that you genetically cannot break down, whether it's lack of pancreatic insufficiency, you don't make certain enzymes, you have certain genetic markers that don't accept that as nutrients, and it responds negatively to it. And this happens within families. Just because your brother and sister can eat certain foods doesn't mean that you can eat them. Just because your mother and father can eat them doesn't mean you can eat them. Remember, we're a collection of our genetic tree. You're just one stem on that branch. So your stem is a little bit different. And you should eat for foods that do energize you, right? And do give you optimal health. So that's the whole thing.
Yep. So with that's a nice segue to the blood types. So
yes,
the types.
So,
I'm type O. Actually, I'm type O. So the first one is type O.
Yeah, I'm B positive.
Okay.
Like my personality. So there is type O, which I understand, which is the oldest blood type. These are high protein diet people, so you can eat a lot of lean meat, like poultry, fish, but don't forget your vegetables. Be light on your grains, your beans, and your dairy. It's also recommended that you use various supplements to help with any intestinal issues or other issues that you may have as a type O, because you maybe don't digest certain vegetables very correctly. Type A is a meat-free diet based on fruits and vegetables. So these make great vegetarians, great vegans.
I see.
They can eat a lot of beans, legumes, and whole grains. A lot of stuff you can't eat, they can eat.
Yeah.
So ideally organic and fresh. It has more of a crunch. Type A's have a very sensitive immune system, so they may have a tendency to have hypersensitivities and allergies.
I'm not just saying this.
Good.
But I am truly a type O. And what you just said, what I can eat. Yeah,
you're a carnivore.
It's so true. I can kill the meat, but I can watch the veggies I eat. Yeah, it's true. Like broccoli, I think I grew out of that. It used to really bother me, but now I get real gassy and a lot of cramping. But now, as I'm older, I don't. So that's as very interesting.
A lot of type O's, the only vegetables they get are the lettuce and tomato on their hamburger. That's all they require.
It's
very, type A would have the exact opposite of you. They don't digest meat very well.
Interesting.
Type B,
which is you, right?
That's me. Avoid corn. I love corn. Wheat, buckwheat, lentils, tomatoes.
Oh my goodness.
Sesame seeds. Guess what I crave? All of those. Yeah, chicken is also problematic, right? And that's true. If I eat too much chicken, not good. So I green vegetables. I do crave salads, believe it or not. Eggs. And certain meats, for me, it's mostly pork. I digest pork very well, but I don't do beef.
Interesting.
Not too well. And I can eat certain fish like tuna and salmon. That's about it. And I crave shellfish. Like, give me a platter of shrimp or a whole tank of lobster and I'll be happy. Like our mother, right?
Which is just like mom. So this, according to type B, that's not a problem. It doesn't say anything about seafood or anything on there, does it? So you're okay with that, right?
I also have dairy issues. And I tend to be lactose sensitive or intolerant at times. I take certain medication so I can enjoy some ice cream every now and then. But I buy all the different alternative milks like oat milk, rice milk, what's it called, lactate milk. So that's me. And then last but not least is AB. And these individuals, they can eat tofu. I can't stand tofu.
Yeah, it's two of us.
Well, seitan and tofu, not my thing. Seafood, dairy, and green vegetables. AB blood tends to have low stomach acids. They should avoid caffeine, alcohol, or any smoked or cured meats. So lunch meats don't do very well for them.
Yeah.
So those are the three types and the general recommendations. Okay. Again, individuals should get their blood type. Everyone should know their blood type anyways. If you don't know, donate blood and they'll tell you. And then based on that, move forward with an allergist. And then just, again, keep a food diary. Be aware of what you're eating and what you're craving. And then how do you
start there first, huh?
Just because you're craving it doesn't mean that it's good for you.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And also add that I would actually recommend, because I've done this too, Eston, and that is I started my own food diary several years ago when I started on this track of better eating and wellness. And it really does work. So I encourage people. It's not really, I call it the poor man's. It's more of the frugal way. And then if you still can't find if you still can't find the foods or pick out the foods that are actually making you feel bad or not good. Yeah, I say bad. You feel bloated. You feel like sluggish. Those type of foods. You can't figure out which one it is. Then go to allergist and get a professional opinion on it. That's my take on it, only because you need to actually figure out how you eat, how much you eat anyways. So having a food diary to figure out what makes you feel bad is a good way of doing that.
And also that's going to influence your cooking and your shopping, your shopping list and your choices when you're eating out. As far as exercise is always recommended. The book, again, gives you great recommendations. Like, for instance, if you're type A, like yoga or Tai Chi. Type O's respond to vigorous aerobic exercise, like jogging or biking for up to an hour a day. So the book goes into greater details on that. Like me, I like Tai Chi, but I taught yoga for years, and now my body's broken because of it, because I taught like 2 or 3 classes a day, 5 days a week. So B, I don't know if we respond very well to yoga. Yeah. Now, again, if we just to go on about with some of the restrictions or preferences, I recommend getting the book. And the diet does dictate that you eat specific foods based on your blood type. It doesn't allow for much for personal taste, unfortunately. So again, if you're a big fan of meat and potatoes, you won't be happy if you're a type A diet, which is mostly vegetarian, right? There are recommendations about types for spices and condiments that you can use. And then if you're on a gluten-free diet, you should know that this diet doesn't ban gluten. There's a thing called Gluten Cutter. I think you can buy at CVS that can help you with that then. But you may be able to make choices that are gluten-free if you read food labels carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good advice. Yep.
Anything else from you?
No, one thing I would add is that this is something that, you have to be really cognizant of how you feed your body and how you treat your body. Treating means twofold: how you exercise and how you eat. And I'll mention that maybe I didn't hear it correctly, but there is a link to the book, right?
Eating Right for Your Type by Dr. Peter Adamo. Adamo.
Yep. So we'll add that to the podcast. There'll be a link on there. So you have to actually read a little bit on the description when this is published to the public. So But the thing I'll add is that this does work. It really does work. Like I said, type O, I love meat, and I can eat meat. Well, I eat some vegetables, and matter of fact, snow peas. I'll throw that out there. This past week, I was gassy and crampy. I'm not ashamed to admit it, and it was all targeted. The only thing I changed was I've added snow peas, and but that's something that you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah. Why is that? Well, exactly. Why? Everyone says genetics. It's because your dad was that way, your grandpa was that way, but why was he that way? Well, here's a good indication of why. Their blood types. The acidity in foods, some people can break it down better than others for various reasons, and I think it's a great topic, and people need to understand who they are. And I understand how the body functions, meaning how many times and how it's built to digest food, how it's built to pull from energy stores in your body. But what I didn't know was, based on your blood type, it depends what kind of foods you can feed it, because it can't break down certain foods, so you should avoid those. It's not a bad thing. It just it's all part of the wellness, right?
Well, and also understand blood type is your genetic type. So if you're type A blood, all your cells in your body are type A.
Good point. Very good point.
So understand that. So that's why also the book does, although it gives you recommendations based solely on your blood type, it also talks about certain diseases like diabetes. So it's talk about that. Like if you have that chronic condition, a lot of diabetics are told to eat high proteins, while other persons with diabetes may have to avoid dairy or chicken. Of course, there's a conflict in your diabetes treatment plan. So the ADA, the American Diabetics Association, does recommend a more practical approach for day-to-day eating. Again, it's also cautious against focusing on specific foods. And in most cases, it doesn't recommend cutting out any major food groups, which this book may do. So on the blood type diet, you're recommended to avoid processed foods and simple carbs, which most meal plans do because they're all nutrient dense. There because there may not be enough to help lose the extra fat weight or bloat weight. But any weight loss on a diet has not always been linked to blood typing. That's why for a lot this is foreign. There's very little research proving that this diet can aid in digestion or give you more energy. Although, if you buy and prepare your own foods on this plan, your choices are limited depending on blood typing. So a person should be prepared to spend some time in the kitchen. And the diet may quickly become expensive too, because, as we all know, eating healthy is not cheap. And a lot of people are on a very fixed income. So the author does recommend that you buy organics, and I say that in quote, what does organic mean, right? It can there's a wide definition to that. Opening your window is suddenly organic because fresh air got in, right? So,
you're not breathing processed air, right?
Yeah, right. So the science is stacked behind traditional recommendations for healthy eating for weight loss, so no restriction based on your blood typing. So what I mean by that is that you'll see a lot of dietary recommendations are based on restrictions and stuff like that for weight loss, but very few dietary recommendations are based on this genetic link. So understand that this is something that a person would have to research. That's why I thought it was a good idea that we do body type and blood type as a 2-part series, so you can hear 2 bookends to this story, and then a person can be a little bit more of a good consumer. Get your body fat done, get your body typing or mapping done by a personal trainer, exercise physiologist, dietitian, doctor, and then get your blood typing, and then just do a little bit of reading. Reading is fundamental. And then do it just to get to know your body in a way that maybe you never thought. I mean, when was the last time you actually sat down and thought about the foods you were eating and how you felt while you were eating them? Instead of shoveling it in because you only have a 15-minute break at work. I mean,
and I'll add to this too. And now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I know the Western American lifestyle is based on the light bulb mentality. And what I mean by that is that we're all light bulbs, and when light bulbs burn out, you get to replace them. So we're kind of conditioned now to think that we are all replaceable, and we're not. And taking time and getting to know your body is against that. It's the antithesis of that. It's the opposite of that work ethic that we've developed in America, where it's go, 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 shovel food in, go, 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 rest real quick, eat, shovel food in, go, go, go. and to take a moment and enjoy your breakfast, to enjoy your lunch, to enjoy your dinner, to enjoy the conversation of others by taking your face out of your phone and looking up at the person across the table is very old school, but it's what we're designed physically, anatomically, and physiologically to do. And that's also part of that culture and process when we talk about meal planning. It's about the art of cooking or shopping, cooking, and dining, which a lot of us have gotten away from because of that light bulb mentality. We're cogs in a wheel, and we're not. We're not machines. We're biochemical machines, but we're not, made of steel and tungsten and, aluminum. We are flesh and bone and sinew, and we need to relish that and enjoy that and celebrate that. And food is one way to do that. And this is somebody who's an anorexic, functional bulimic who has food issues, but even I recognize that.
Well, I mean, that was a dysphoria podcast.
But even I recognize, and also, it's right. It is our fuel.
Well, here, let me add to that, and that is that eating healthy does not necessarily mean it's going to be more expensive. Eating often can become expensive, and I'll just add to that there's a podcast about intermittent eating. And again, what we're trying to do here is inform people so they can make an educated decision. And if you have any questions about this topic and other topics, anyone can just reach out to us, message us, and we'll be more than happy to help them. So you're not on your own here. We don't just present information so you're on your own and good luck with it. We want interaction so we can help people further. So more questions are better. Secondly, eating is part of life, and there's no better pleasure than eating food that makes you feel good. It gives your body can digest and utilize it as it should without any interruption. And to your point about processed food, that's what starting to kill America. It started about 50 years ago. And before that,
emergency war rations.
Yeah,
it wasn't meant for day-to-day consumption, especially canned food.
Correct.
Canned was meant for rationing and disaster and crisis. It wasn't meant to be eaten on a daily basis. But unfortunately, for a lot of people, because of budgets or time constraints or a combination of many things, that's their choice. Likewise, with drive-through, fast food was not meant to be a daily consumption with every single meal. It was meant to feel, you're in a hurry. Okay, once in a while, you need to quickly go in and grab something really prepared for you ahead of time. It's calorie high and, nutrient, low. Yeah. So, but not for a daily. And unfortunately, with a lot of Americans, that's what our lifestyles become because, again, that light bulb mentality.
Right. Yeah. But that's no excuse to eat poorly. I think knowledge is priceless. Ignorance is not bliss. It is detrimental. So, it really is.
But I'm just saying it's a lifestyle. It's many factors that go into who we are and what we do and why we do it. And whenever you can take a staycation, take it. And that may mean enjoying a meal for half an hour. Do a little meditation. Do some food meditation while you're eating. Just get into the food and enjoy it. That slows down your heart rate. It activates your parasympathetic system. It helps fight all those stress hormones. And then you start to crave better choices because the brain is a computer. And when you reprogram it to crave better foods, then you don't crave the other stuff. Because the body needs certain nutrients. And if it only knows the only source of salt is French fries, well, when you need salt, guess what the body craves? French fries. But you get salt in vegetables too. Radishes. You get salt and other healthier choices. So it's just
it's just knowing. It's in being informed and making a educated decision.
Right. So when you put these two things together, it's again a book. It's a book between the two bookends to kind of put in the index of your life for references on making lifestyle choices.
And with that being said, we'll wrap things up. We're out of time. Great topic, Aston. Thank you as always. And this concludes our podcast with Coach Bill and Coach Aston. Until next time, be healthy, be strong, be a life warrior.
Be well.
The opinions and topics expressed in this podcast are those of the participants and do not necessarily support the opinions and views of the wellness community. We would love to hear your thoughts, so click on the message button and give us your constructive feedback. Thank you for listening and make a positive difference today.